was supposed to be a day of yard work turns into tragedy for two neighbors in East Chattanooga. Good evening, I'm Kim Chapman.
And I'm Josh Root. Johnny Patman said he and his neighbor were trying to burn down a tree stump in Patman's yard when he says the gas can that his neighbor was holding exploded and set his neighbor on fire. Chattanooga Fire tells us that neighbor was flown to the Vanderbilt burn unit. Sydney Edwards has more on what happened and how that neighbor is doing tonight. Sydney.
Josh and Kim, Johnny Patman says he's still in shock after watching his neighbor and friend become engulfed in flames. This neighbor is someone he says always helps him when he needs it.
He's the big brother I never had. He really is.
Johnny Patman says he and his neighbor both served in the Army and didn't realize it until afterwards that they were in the same country at the same time.
He's a wonderful guy. He helped me at anything. Everything I want to help, need, he's there for me, and I'm the same way for him.
Johnny Patman says that big brother came to help get rid of the tree stump. He brought a mixture of diesel and oil to burn it.
He was around here on this backside, pouring the gasoline down into this hole.
Patman was standing on the opposite side of the stump and says he couldn't see what was happening, but that his neighbor kept pouring the gas onto the fire.
And before you know it, I heard a loud explosion, and he was engulfed in flame at the time.
That's when Patman says he jumped into action and encouraged his neighbor to drop and roll.
I was trying my best to do what I could to put it, to extinguish him and put it out, and it just really was terrifying at the moment.
He helped tear his neighbor's burning clothes off, while other neighbors offered dry clothes and water to help.
All we have left is his boots, his hat, and his belt, of course.
Now bits of his clothes lay scattered in Patman's backyard.
And this here is the pants, what he had on.
Johnny says the hospital told him over 80% of his friend's body was burned. So now all he's worried about is how his friend is doing tonight. Josh.
Sydney, thank you. Fire Marshal William Matlock says you should never put a combustible liquid on an open flame. And if you ever see a tree stump or ever need a tree stump removed, that is, it's always best to call an expert before doing something yourself.